and welcome back to Pass Move. And for today's episode, in our brilliant Bayer Leverkusen series, we do have Club Brugge as promised in the Champions League. Now, since the last episode, things have, I think, slowed down a little bit, but we are up to 8th. I think last episode we were in 12th. We are just 9 points away from the top, and of course, just a single point away from the Europa League spots, which the board will be happy with. But of course, we want to aim for a little bit higher, get into the Champions League, sort out our team for next season so we can really have a go and challenge for the title. Maybe this season even as well, we'll see. 9 points isn't too much. If Bayern Munich lose another 3 times this season, that's enough to catch up. Or of course, they can still get a bunch of draws themselves as well. And all we have to do is obviously maintain a winning streak. But today's all about the Champions League, and we'll talk about that. But first, let's show you what happened since the last episode. So we showed you the Dortmund game, 0-0 draw against Bremen in the first division. Cost us a couple of points, but we were away from home, so you can kind of understand this result. And Bremen aren't necessarily the easiest team to beat. So it's an okay result, but obviously it would have been better to have continued our winning result, especially as we lost to Freiburg next 2-1. We opened the scoring rather, and they managed to turn it around in the span of 11 minutes, and we didn't have enough time to actually go on and score another. My players took it too easy, told them off at half time. Didn't tell them off, but told them to keep an eye out on the score, because it doesn't necessarily mean that we've won. Just because we're 1-0 at half time, and apparently they didn't take the warning, and so their team managed to turn it around, Freiburg. But more importantly perhaps was the game against Juventus, with 1-1 draw at home. They actually opened the scoring through Higuain, who else? But Bailey managed to get us a goal to keep things in contention for us, but we actually couldn't go on and get the winner, so a draw was all we got, and I'll show you just what it means for today's last game of the Champions Group stage. Now remember, we've already met expectations by being in the group stages, so if we get any further, the board will be extremely happy, of course. Wolfsburg, 3-0 result away from home is as complete a performance as it comes, really. Tough team, not necessarily the easiest opposition, but we managed to dispatch them as if they were a relegation team, and I think in fact we sent them tumbling down the table, and they will have an eye out on the relegation zone for sure. Mainz themselves also was a 3-0 result in our favour. They got a player sent off, which helped us, but really we had the result secured before even Jean-Philippe got sent off for his team. Stefan as well getting a goal just for the sake of getting a goal, really. And what can you ask for from your players when they draw and lose a game in the division, and then you want them to bounce back, and they bounce back incredibly well. 2-3-0 results is a perfect result, result fixtures that we were asking for. But yeah, Club Brugge, Champions League is all that matters today. And forget all the other groups. Our group this is how it looks. So Shakhtar and Juventus are the ones who are going through at the moment. 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss each. We've got 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss. So it's really a draw that's costed us. And the 2 points difference is what separates us between Shakhtar and Juventus. Club Brugge, not a single point to their name, and they'll be hoping to change that today. But I'm hoping they feel the weakened side, realising that they're probably not even going to get I think actually for sure they won't get Europa League football. Not sure how it works for us, to be honest. I think 3rd spot does drop out for Europa League football, but let's see. Winners qualify for group stage. No wait, this is champions. Alright, let's see. Let's do all groups. Qualification top 2 teams for first knockout round. Right, well, nothing necessarily in terms of dropping into Europa League, but I guess we'll find out after this game. I think it is 3rd place, and I think it's not even every single team. It depends on your goal difference and points collected and all that business, but we'll see. For now though, aim is to stay in the Champions League, and hopefully we can do that today. Shakhtar and Juventus will be playing each other, of course, which means that if either one of them lose, we win obviously, then that means we will get into the Champions League knockout stages. But unfortunately, a draw will not be enough. Even if we score and win, we would need 8 goals. We need to beat Bruges by 8 goals in order to actually get ahead of Shakhtar, and that's only considering. Actually, yeah, we would need 8 goals because a draw is a draw, isn't it? So we need to, or even actually 7 if it's Juventus if we go above Juventus, you could argue. I think it's still 8, but either way, a lot to ask for, and that's why we decided to show you today's game instead of the game against Hoffenheim. Arguably, the Club Brugge one's more important. We didn't even get to show you too many Champions League games other than the Juventus one, and of course the Champions League will have an opportunity to get into beat expectations, while the Hoffenheim game, if we do win, obviously it's a huge result, but it still would only send us into the meeting expectations, not necessarily beating it. Of course, we have plenty of time to show you other first division results as well. So I think we can finally kick off, and this is the team we'll be going with. We can talk more about who's starting for what reason, but as always, it's always based on form, fitness, or injuries, of course. So well, actually, I think that comes on the fitness, but yeah. I mean, we always try to pick our key players as often as possible if they are playing well, and if they don't, that's the only time they get dropped. Striker department is definitely the place we need to invest in, like I always mention every single episode, and the reason is that's really starting to show now. We're struggling in terms of our striker department. At least Stefan's kind of stepped up, but as a decent player for the division, it doesn't make too sense. It looks like we'll actually have to sell Mehmedi because he just doesn't really have a space in our squad. As an inside forward, he's not the best inside forward in our club. He's actually the third choice. And as a striker, he's not performing well enough to stay on. And Stefan, even though he's the worst in terms of ability, he's performing much better. Anyways, favourites for today's game apparently, and I think that we should back ourselves. Hopefully we can exploit the lone wide man they're playing there. But for ourselves, Stefan is going to be the one who starts. He's been in good form. Hakan's still dropped after Kai has taken over, and he's still performing well, so that's why he gets the nod. Bellarabi and Volland are first team choice players. Julian as well, been playing too well for me to still call back Bender, who I reckon is going to start complaining about game time soon enough. But for now, this is our strongest midfield based on form. Wendell's been called back into the side after Dummett's form's trailed off a little bit as well, so Wendell has a chance to recapture his best form and nail down that left back spot for good. Henriks as well has done the same recently. He's finally overtaken Pierre, I think his name was Pierre, our right back. And actually that's what I like to see, because Henriks is a 19-year-old, our first choice right back, and he can seriously become one of the best players at our club, so I need him to find the form so I can justify selecting him all the time. Leno, of course, always in the goalkeeping department. Thankfully hasn't gotten injured yet this season. Omar Toprak and Jonathan Tah have been the usual centre-back pairing for this season, so let's hope that can continue. I think there is a little bit of an update in terms of outs, and we made a little bit of a promise to sell Tin, another youngster who's supposed to be long-term partner and of course potential to be one of the best players at the club, to Jonathan Tah. He's been so unhappy with his game time that he's asked to leave, and I'm hoping by the time January comes around that he can change his mind. But based on current form, Jonathan Tah and Omar Toprak are just going to continue playing with each other. I'd love to, somehow tell Tin that Toprak's moving on and he's going to be first choice after that, but, the game doesn't give you that option, does it? But anyways, I think we can try and get our players into winning this. Alright, so away from home, favourites. Have to put in a performance that the fans, not the plans. Hopefully plans do go well, but the fans will also be happy. And let's kick off. We need to just quickly go to extended, show highlights please, and we're ready. We'll also have a little latest updates kind of thing. I don't think it's latest updates. Where is it? It's supposed to be like match results. We need to see who else, whether Juventus or Shakhtar will be the ones to lose. So let's go on league table actually instead. So far we won't be qualifying, but hopefully Charles can change that. Wendell on the ball for the team. Is he going to find Charles once more? Yes, he does. Charles, can you put a better cross in, please? Decent one. Volland doesn't even try to leap, though. And Tah will come away with it. Back to Volland. Good ball out to Charles. What's Charles going to do? Doesn't go for the shot himself. Instead, Bellarabi does. And I guess he needed a little bit more quality to beat the goalkeeper there, though. Volland, another opportunity. Finds Henriks. Henriks, come on, prove your worth here. Doesn't beat the first man, but Volland picks up the pieces. Kai, oh, that kind of looks like it hits the defender's hand, but Bruges are lucky to get away with it, and we're piling on the pressure as we attempt to grab all 3 points and get into the knockout stages of the Champions League. Having said that, Vormer for his team. Charles clears it, but straight back to Vormer. Outside of the box for Rifalov, and he almost catches Leno. That's, well, you saw the shot for yourselves. Club Brugge though, with another corner. They've had the lion's share of possession, but thankfully it's gone out for our goal kick, and hopefully we can continue building on our little good start so far. But having said that, Club Brugge have a point to prove. Vorma, I'm not even going to say that name. Tar blocks the shot, and it's a corner to Club Brugge, who are not messing about today and have a lot to prove at their home stadium. My players are not showing too much for their efforts. We need a goal. Another corner to Club Brugge. Is that our away end? Is that our fans there? I think so. Everyone else is blue and white, and those are the only people who are wearing black. Okay, good. Leno collects that quite comfortably. Nothing in terms of Shakhtar Juventus game either. Looks like they're still drawing. I reckon they haven't even scored yet, either one of them. But I do need one of them to lose, and it would be a surprise if Shakhtar and ourselves go through rather than Juventus. If Juventus miss out, I feel like that's a bigger loss than either one of Shakhtar or ourselves. I feel like the board don't care if we go out anyway, so really the aim is for Juventus and Shakhtar, or that's the expectations at least. And the way we're playing at the moment, it really would be Shakhtar and Juventus. Can we up the tempo? We need the boys to wake up a bit. I'm definitely at half-time telling them off. Having said that, Kai's on the ball for the team. Can he find Stefan? It's Bellarabi instead, takes his man on, shoots himself instead of trying to find someone in the box, and that goes out for a very easy goal kick. I thought for a second it got deflected because that's how poor the shot was, but no, it's just lacking in quality. Tar shuts the man down, but he's through now instead. Vossen finds his man, and Leno deals with that threat well. And I'm gonna have to somehow tell my players off here. What can I even do? Demand more? Let's do demand more. They need to seriously wake up before being taken apart. I feel like we're being hit on the counter all the time, and we do need to play a little bit less risky, in my opinion, at least. I'm going to change tactics in a second if this one ends in our favour, though. Having said that, Denzwell picks up for his team. Vanakan on the ball. Simons playing a bit of a 1-2 with his teammate, Raphael. This is some dangerous play. Thankfully, Julian clears, but still with Club Brugge, who are looking to exploit our weaknesses. Absolutely dominating midfield. We've got 3 to their 4. But we need to utilise our wide men much more than we are at the moment. Come on, shut him down. Yes, Toprak. Not good enough though. He's out of position now. Vossen! Leno does well there. I think I'm gonna... Wait. Oh my god, this explains so much. Why on earth are we on overload the whole time? That is absolutely stupid. I can't believe that actually happened. I think I've... yeah, that's my mistake without doubt. Thankfully back to control though, and hopefully the damage isn't done too late. Club Brugge were taking advantage of our stupid mentality from the start. 30 minutes of playing on overload on the moment the game starts. I mean, incredible. I can't believe I didn't notice that already. I hope none of you noticed either, because that would be unusual. Oh god. Alright. Can we perform better though? Goal kick for Club Brugge. They opt for the short option, of course. I don't necessarily have, you know, stop goalkeeper from short option. Having said that, we're off the overload option, but tackle from Julian isn't necessarily picked up from his teammates. Henrik still puts the tackle in, and this time Volland does pick up the pieces and finds his wide partner, Bellarabi. And Stefan's on the ball. Loses out though to Denzwell a bit too easily. Couldn't find anyone to pass to, I suppose, even though there were options. Tar tries to initially tackle, but the Vossen's gotten away with it. Julian, apparently that's not a foul. I would argue it was, but referee ruled in our favour and we come away with it. And Henriks has another chance to burst forward, and that's exactly what he does. This is going to take his man on. He somehow comes away with it, and he can put a ball into the box here. Stefan, that's our first. That's not even considered a click-up chance. That's incredible. Well, threat is there, and Vossen thankfully is injured for his team, and he's proven a threat and a half for his team. And Charles can take advantage of that. Toprak, is he onside? He is onside, and it's 1-0 to Leverkusen through Toprak with his second goal of the season. And suddenly we're tied with Shakhtar and Juventus on points. Can we... well, definitely can't score 5 or even 6 more. But can Shakhtar Juventus out? You know what? They probably have a plan with each other to just draw the game and secure each other's Champions League spot. Hoping there's no such thing as match rigging here. But having said that, Juventus are ahead at Shakhtar. I'm not even sure if that's the stadium they're playing in, but the point is Juventus are beating Shakhtar. And our goal has come good here. Having said that, what a save and a half from Leno. I mean, he initially spilt the shot, but come away with it. And at the moment, we will qualify for the Champions League knockout stages, and we'll definitely be showing you the game against whoever we draw. Alright, so we're doing really well, but I think some nerves are coming in, and some players feel like we need to play a bit more safe so we don't get countered too easily. So I'm going to look for the overlap, work the ball into the box, and dribble less so we don't take any stupid chances with our passing. And at the same time, we just take less risk with anything, our passing, taking players on, and hopefully we're more defensively compact. But 1-0 is at the half time, and I think I will ask my players to do a little bit better because we've done well, but not good enough. Club Brugge still prove a threat, and my boys will have to be switched on in order for us to come away with all 3 points here and hope that Juventus continue to beat Shakhtar. Normally 12 points gets you through to the next round in the Champions League, but maybe we'll get away with 11 here. And I think we've done fairly well to navigate our way through a difficult group. Other than Club Brugge, you know, against Juventus and Shakhtar, we definitely weren't the favourites. We were the underdogs of the group. And if we can get all 3 points here, we can prove that we've come some way since that poor start in the beginning of the season. Alright, 60th minute here. Who can we take off? Stefan, horrible game. Mehmed, you can hopefully do better. Leave him on the deep lying forwards, to be honest. I'm not a fan. I've tried the false 9 thing to try and suit him. He hasn't done too well in that role either, and I feel like it doesn't work with our tactics too well either. Julian's a bit tired, but Campbell's the only one on the bench, and he's supposed to come off for Charles. Charles is not tired and has a good game, so it doesn't make any sense. Kai, we can take off for Hakan. I think that's the smarter change. We'll also take off Bellarabi, but later on. We need a second goal before we can consider taking off any other player other than our midfield players, of course, and our attackers, because, you know, we need to switch those around, keep the attacking bit of our game going, so that way we can grab a second goal. Having said that, here's Hakan, substitute. Really good ball into Tar, but Tar couldn't win the header. Bellarabi though, good ball into the box. Volland has a free header, and apparently that's more of a clear-cut chance than the one we saw earlier. And I guess Club Brugge survive. Volland though, once more. Poor ball out to Hakan, but he can possibly put a tackle in. Goes for the safe option, and instead it's Diaby on the ball for his team. Van Aken. Shut that down, no? Alright, Diaby again. Can we close him down this time? Nope. Back to Claudemir, Van Aken. And they're really taking advantage of their midfield advantage here. We need to shut them down before they find holes. Instead it's Cassano, and that is offside. Leno though, in the form that he's been in, look, he would have saved that probably. Coming up to 70th minute here, Claudemir is going to try a long throw. We deal with it well through top rack, but Diaby is going to pick up the pieces for his team here. Can we put the tackle in? No, he goes past his man. Is he going to shoot? Eventually he does, but it's too easy and directly at Leno. And hopefully Leno picks a good option here and plays a safe ball, but we won't even see it. Having said that, now we'll make the change, take off Bellarabi for Julian Brandt. Charles is tired now, but he still had a really good game, so we'll keep him on. And hopefully maybe at least Brandt, if not Hakan and Mehmedi, will make the... You know, Hakan and Mehmedi are supposed to be first team players and haven't made any difference to the game so far. So maybe Julian can do that off the bench. When we come up to the 80th minute, maybe we can go into contain. So far, Juventus are still beating Shakhtar, so we cannot afford to concede. Charles picks up the pieces for his team, and Leno's on the ball. Just hold on. Okay, plays it a bit too soon for my liking to Tar, but he deals with it well, and Wendell sends Brandt on his way. What's Brandt going to do off the bench here? Safely to Hakan. Alright, smart football from the boys. Volland on the ball. Bit too deep for my liking, but Julian's on it now, and he finds Henriks, and Henriks is a little bit free. Look for overlaps should suit our strengths. Mehmedi couldn't win the initial header, but Charles is on the ball, takes a long range shot and almost catches out Butele, and I could have sworn they had a different goalkeeper earlier. Maybe they had to substitute, I'm not sure. 74 minutes here. What's going to happen? Hakan dropping too deep, but it's okay. Held onto the ball well, and Wendell finds Charles, and he finds Hakan once more. What's he going to do? Julian Brandt on the ball for the team. Mehmedi. Hakan. Finally out wide to Volland. And he does well to find Henriks again. We just need one good ball into the box from you, Henriks. That was not the one, apparently. Charles, though. Yeah, he could have played it to Wendell, but instead he goes to Julian, and it's Henriks on the ball again. Volland. Back to Henriks. Come on. Yes, and that's the one we're looking for. Mehmedi. Whether you play him as a deep blank forward or whether you play him as a false nine, he just cannot score. And it's nothing to do with his finishing. He's just poor, I guess. Charles, though, pick up the pieces off the corner. Need to stay calm and not lose the ball here. Safely back to Henriks. Shut down quickly, but he finds Wendell really well. And Brandt's on the ball for his team. Julian. What's he going to do? Back to Brandt. And he finds Wendell. What can he do? Charles. That's a bit too ambitious. Or maybe even optimistic from Charles there. After this highlight's gone, maybe we can go into contain. I feel like we're growing into the game, but can't afford at all to draw. And I'm hoping contain doesn't invite Club Brugge too much. Having said that, there's an immediate highlight after making the change. Will it be in our favour or will it be in Club Brugge? Julian does well to win it. Van whatever just heads it to anywhere and Charles picks it up. Brandt. Don't do anything silly, yes. Hakan finds Mehmedi. I want to have a look at Mehmedi's preferred moves and see if that has something to do with him being unable to play as a deep blank forward. Julian, really good ball out to Henriks. Can we score the second goal to secure the result? Yes, we can through Brandt. And he is the substitute that we mentioned could make the difference. And Mehmedi and Hakan will definitely have to have a look at themselves after having to rely on Brandt to score the goal that may secure us the knockout stages of the Champions League. What a ball from Henriks. Finally, after all his tries, it reaches Brandt. And Mehmedi probably knew nothing about that. And he doesn't even try to shoot it, but Brandt makes no mistake. Looks like we might actually go through here. About 5 more minutes left to the game, and Shakhtar haven't scored an equalizer yet. You know what? I'm just going to pause it for a moment. Have a look at the scores. How far up are Juventus? They're just 1 up. And Dybala has missed a penalty for his team in the 80th minute here, who could have seriously helped us. Having said that, Volland, Henriks, he would have deserved the goal after today's performance, but instead it looks like he'll just end the game with an assist, but that's good enough from a wing back. Come on, blow the whistle on both games, tell us we're through. Brandt, the goal scorer who really helped us in a difficult time off the bench. Alright, so we've done our bit. The question is, have Juventus? Okay, apparently we did what was needed of us, but does that mean we're through? Yes, it does. Shakhtar have lost 2-0 to Juventus, and we're through to the knockout stages in second place, but at least it's better than nothing, and that means we may face a tougher team. We'll have a look at the other group stages, other groups actually of the Champions League, and see maybe who we're likely to face off against. Of course, it's always against a team who've topped their group if you're in second place, and I'm hoping someone unlikely's topped their group and we pick them up. Got 1 million for that, and we qualify for the first knockout round. Board will definitely be happy. Yes, they are, 72%. And here we can have a look. So Barcelona, we definitely don't want to draw. We can probably do with picking up Sevilla. Maybe we can beat them. Tottenham, they're okay. Maybe we could do a job against them. PSV would definitely be the ideal situation, but having said that, their group hasn't ended either. But yeah, PSV, Napoli or Moscow should be decent enough for us. I think even Ludogorets could possibly finish in the... Well, I don't think they'll finish top, so... PSG definitely want to avoid, Madrid definitely want to avoid, and Bayern definitely want to avoid. But let's see how it goes. For now, we did our bit. We got into knockout stages, and I'll definitely show you the next round. There's no real... Okay, we definitely should say good job to Top Rack. Have a look at the players here who's performed well. Just about everyone except our front four, which is kind of disappointing. And even more important reason why we need a striker. Bellarabi's the only one who's kind of going out, and considering Brandt scored, we should bring him on. Bailey's injured, Julian's suspended for the next game, and finally I guess Bender's going to get a bit of game time. Having said that, he's not fit at all for us. Going to just skip ahead, simulate for just a second, see if we can find out our group stage game. But is the draw later? Oh, the draw's much later, guys, sorry. We have a game in between there as well. Alright, so in terms of when we'll be back, it should be for that the knockout round. We're in December though, so I feel like the knockout round's in February. That might be a bit too far ahead. We could possibly be back for the BMG game. That would be a tough one, and there are rivals, but maybe we'll be back depending on these results here as well. But yeah, I think that's all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, then of course please do hit the like button and subscribe for more daily Football Manager 2017 content. And as always guys, thank you all very much for watching.